Good evening, my beautiful souls, and thank you so much for joining me today for another interview from the Legacy Creation series. Today I have with me Anna Rohr, who is a EFT and PSYCH-K facilitator. I invited her to speak with us what legacy means to her, and I did have a discussion with her before the interview, obviously, to get to know each other and to see the format of the interview and so on. And she has really interesting things to say, especially with Psyche, which is pretty new for me. And I did a little bit of research, and it's quite new throughout the world as well. It's not as known. So without further ado, Juana, please tell us who you are, what you're doing, and then we get to the questions.
Oh, smoke. Okay. Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me. I was really blown away by your idea of really sharing all these beautiful people and just sharing your knowledge as well, and the people that you choose to interview, because there are so many ways to support people today, that we have so many choices, and it's really amazing for people to have the ability to find anything that resonates with them and what they feel best to support in their change. So it's really amazing also that you do it in Romanian as well.
Yes.
So I work with PSYCH-K mainly, and with EFT, because I found them to be the most, for me and for the people that I work with, the most effective and quick therapies, processes of change. Yes. And with EFT, it's really amazing to work with, because it helps us in this day and age where we have so much stress. We have so much emotions that we don't really know how to deal with, and our brain chooses to really save us and protect us from a perceived danger, that sometimes the everyday stress and the very tense conversation can be perceived by our brains by being really dangerous for us. And by tapping through those emotions, we can really be present in situations. So that, and it's something that everybody can do, because we have our hands with us. We can tap on our meridian points. We can tell our brains that no matter how difficult the situation may seem to be, we can remain calm, so that our nervous system can chill out and we can really face things in our lives. And PSYCH-K is, well, it's actually, yesterday was the 31st anniversary of PSYCH-K. It's quite an 31st, yes.
Wow. And I said it's new, so pardon me guys, whoever know about PSYCH-K, I think it's new for me. Even though I didn't find so many things on Google, but yeah.
Yes, because not a lot of people know about PSYCH-K yet. I think in the last year and a half, it started to be more, to get more traction.
Okay.
So you are right. From
like,
no, it's relative. Actually, in England is more known than in. I work with PSYCH-K. I'm based in Budapest, and I was the first who started using PSYCH-K here. So it just kind of, it gets to be more known. And what I really love about it is that the creator of PSYCH-K puts a really big effort and accent on the integrity of the process. And so it's really it's a really clean method, and it works by changing the belief systems that we have in our subconscious mind, by bringing the whole brain, like the left and the right brain, into harmony again. And by that, basically what happens is that we open that gate to our subconscious, and we start changing everything else, everything that it's not supporting us in the life that we want to live, into the enhanced beliefs that we would like to experience.
Okay, so what I'm understanding, thank you so much for sharing this. What I'm understanding is most of the work is done in the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is the one who tries to protect us. Whatever we want to do, first of all, we'll check to see if we are in danger. And we'll say, are you in danger? Check. Okay, give me limited beliefs. Are you in danger? No. Okay, you can do it. Something like that. And it feels like you're kind of bridging the subconscious mind with the conscious mind.
Yes, because actually, like the moment that we want to experience a change in our lives, but in the subconscious we have that belief that we're not good enough.
The belief system, yes.
And with our conscious mind, we're really creative. We realize what we want. We have like all these beautiful ideas, but real change can only happen when the subconscious is on the same page with the conscious mind. Because if not, we can just like work through things, just like really fight and do everything in our power with our conscious mind to achieve things. But if the subconscious, since it's like 95% ruling our life, it says, yeah, no, you're not capable, because everything that I've heard, that I've that I've seen until now, that I've learned from, people that we look up to, from the parents, from the society, says that, I'm sorry, you're not able to do that. It's the subconscious who's going to win. So.
Yes, I'm aware of EFT, and it's something that I've been using on and off, and especially when I have a huge blockage, I'm using it. But for our audience, could you please just explain a little bit what EFT is, like the tapping? I know it, like the sequence, and also if there is similarity with the PSYCH-K.
Well, the only similarity with the PSYCH-K is that it also, like with EFT, we also bring up the belief systems that have been
the subconscious one.
Exactly, but I think most of the processes today aim for the same goal, but we're approaching them from different angles.
Yes, and I think one of the reasons is because people learn and they react to things or respond to things differently. So we all aim for the same thing, like in therapy, either is it coaching or counseling or even the Reiki. You aim the subconscious mind to change those limited beliefs that are stopping you, those blockages. It's just that some people learn PSYCH-K. I'm really intrigued about this. EFT, Reiki, counseling, RTT therapy, and so on. We are so many. It's just, how to say, I think it's just a matter of telling people the results that they can take from each approach. Let's put it that way.
Yes, and actually, like, just to go back to PSYCH-K for a second, is that what's amazing about it is that we don't need to go back into what happened. We don't need to relive the pain. We don't need to, that we look at what is it that it's not working at a moment in time, and what is it that we want to experience instead of it. And we test through muscle testing whether the subconscious is supporting us into experiencing that, and if not, through different balances, we call them balances, we open the door to the subconscious.
It's like checking with the subconscious mind if it's ready,
if it's and if it has the information what we need to, for example, if I use this a lot because it's something like really that people can relate to, or new drivers can relate to. When new drivers are feeling maybe a little anxious of driving a new car after having their driving license, and they come and we work on seeing whether they can drive in a very relaxed way. And until then, if they've learned that driving is difficult, driving is dangerous, in the subconscious has this information that driving is really dangerous, like better stay on your bench. we test whether the subconscious has the information that driving can be fun and easy. And if not, obviously, since the information in the subconscious is that driving is really dangerous, maybe, the muscle test will go low, because it's going to not be a strong muscle test because the subconscious does not have the information. And through the balances in PSYCH-K, we start harmonizing again the left and the right hemisphere of the brain, which opens the gate to the subconscious, and the new belief that driving can be easy and fun goes into the subconscious, and this change of the old limiting belief is just kind of like erasing, going out, and the new one goes into the subconscious.
So it's pretty much you input a new information there to
exactly. Yeah,
whatever
take out everything that it's not supporting and put in, yeah.
You do a spring cleaning in the subconscious
exactly
mind.
Completely, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So is it perhaps the EFT? Do you use EFT and PSYCH-K together?
No, what's really important is that you need to, and I think it's also for not to confuse people. I use them completely separate, and depends on who needs what, and but I never use them together. Maybe sometimes if I tap with someone and they come, then they realize that there is like a really strong belief. In a different session, we work on changing that belief with PSYCH-K, because that with PSYCH-K, the belief can be changed literally within minutes.
Wow, is that fast?
Yeah, it's really fast. Wow. Yeah, so it's just after we need to basically take the responsibility and go and put our behinds in the car and drive the car to see how it works. So we have that responsibility of changing the way that we behave in our life, but that happens with, you know, whether we use EFT, Reiki, coaching, we do need to have those changes in our day-to-day life. So
wow. Yeah. So, oh my God, now it's like I'm up for asking you questions about PSYCH-K, and I don't want to go there.
Well, let's go to EFT first, and if there is anything else that you would like to know.
Yes, what legacy are you leaving behind? Because I suppose it's part of EFT and PSYCH-K, both of them are part of the legacy. So tell me what legacy means to you, and how do you share it? How do you build it?
Well, legacy to me is leaving behind something that not only impacts the people that I work with, but the people in their lives. And what I want to leave behind is that knowledge and the power that we can change our lives. We have the power of changing our lives, no matter what really difficult situations we've lived before. And we are immensely powerful human beings, and with a little bit of will and love, we can really build up the lives that we want to live. And if I can just impact a few people with that belief and with that knowing, to me, it's I've done my job, and I'm good. You know,
you've done your job. Yeah. OANA, is there a trigger point or a pivotal moment that you just reach this moment and you say, like, that's it, I have to do something?
Oh, many.
That you started, that brought you on this path of EFT and PSYCH-K?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I lived in quite an aggressive environment growing up, and somehow I had that inner knowing that I have the choice of either rise above it or stay in that pain. And without having any means at that time, I chose to rise above it. But of course, a lot of things were just swept under the rug, and I became a very strong person who did not show any emotions, who kind of like, I was almost like a robot. There was like no way people would be able to approach me, like people who I was not feeling safe with. And I got to a point where I was not really feeling good with it in my skin. And let alone being in a relationship, it was like no way. And I met a mentor of mine who we started working together, and I realized how much a little bit of help can do. And when I started changing my own life, I realized that that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to be that catalyst or that supporter for people who had either similar experiences or their own individual experiences, that yes, we can change. Yes, we can move through. Yes, it is okay to be vulnerable. It is, we can get so much strength from really being who we are, with our wounds, with our healing, and step and become the people who we really want to be. So.
It's something that you said now, and it really captured my attention, because you said you grew up in that negative environment, and you've decided if you stay there or you move, or you raise above. And you mentioned that you decided to be strong and you didn't have any emotions and so on. I always see this strength as a coin, and this upper coin is like no emotion, I can do it, I can, you become a little bit very insensitive, not towards others, but towards yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And on the other side is all the pain that you swap, as you said, under the rug. Everything. So this coin, how does it stay now for you? Like, is it still like on a flat, or is moving? It's oscillating?
It's completely moving, and like anybody else, it just because we do the work that we do, we are still human being, and we still have triggers. And to me, that is something that I can still grow from. And yes, I do have bad days. I do have things that get to me emotionally. But now I have that choice consciously to sit with the emotions that come and change my perception, and see what is it that they can show me, and what is it how can I become even a better human being. So absolutely,
Regarding this, I do have something that I'm using throughout the day. It doesn't matter if I feel down or I feel, I don't know how, I just put my hand on my heart and I just ask, like, Adina, how do you feel right now?
Yeah.
And I just stay quiet. I try to quiet my mind, because it's always like, chatter. And after a few seconds, I'm like, I think I'm annoyed about something, or I think I'm happy about something, or I'm like, I don't really know how I feel.
Yeah. And that happens so many times, doesn't it? When we just cannot pinpoint what is it that is going on, but we know that something is there.
To go from the environment where you are now to deal with with your emotions, to become vulnerable, as you said, a little bit of help can make such a difference.
Yeah.
So that change, because I see as if you're a before OANA and after OANA.
Yeah.
The now, the ex OANA and the now OANA. Yes. That change. How do you perceive change? How did you perceive it when you were going through the transition?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you look at it now in the hindsight?
Well, when I was going through it had incredible painful moments.
Painful.
Incredibly hard moments. But I knew why I was doing it. So
you had that belief, and you had that inner knowledge. You said that you always knew that you could. There is something else there. So the belief, because whoever is watching us, if they have to go through the change and they feel like I can't do it anymore, so it's a belief.
It's a complete belief, and it's the desire of having that better relationship with myself. Because to me, that's like, it's, if I don't have that loving, forgiving, beautiful relationship with myself, how can I have it with anybody else? It's
so
like
putting yourself first, like self-love first, and after that you can share with somebody else. So belief, desire, love, and steps already identified.
Yes. And the other thing was that knowledge, that knowing that my tomorrow is going to be as good as my today. And if my today is based on everything that I live through, and I will just remind myself all the time, or those triggers, everything that is in my subconscious is just going to come up, I will still keep creating my tomorrow based on my past. And I didn't want that. And having that knowledge.
I could translate this to trust.
Trust and consciousness, really. And knowing
awareness.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Being aware of the fact that I am the writer of my life, and I can choose whether I write based on what happened there, or I just deal with it and write the story that I want to live.
How do you impact the people in your life? Because the impact could be positive or negative depending on what circle you have had around you.
Oh my, we have to ask them, I think. Well, hopefully, well, it comes to mind a very dear friend of mine who we were having a conversation with another acquaintance of ours, and she used to say that you look at one eye and that you see the smile. I hope with a little bit of bubbliness, because there is so much pain in the world, that with a little bit of love and smile, and being able to listen to people and be present with people no matter what they go through, without wanting to change them, to give them advice, to just being present with them, or being there for people that are in my life in the way that they need me to be there, not how I think, or I may be thinking that they need me to be there. And by living my own life as an example, and by showing that it doesn't matter what the hell that we've been through, we can build the life that we want to.
I so love what you say, because it seems like we share the same values, even in life, like leading by example. And it just came into my mind. Whatever I'm doing, like even when I work with my clients in therapy or in coaching, very, very rarely we go to a place where I wasn't, or I'm not willing to go there with them. You know, to sit with them in that pain, to sit with them in the silence, to sit with them in the uncertainty, because the uncertainty sometimes kills you as well, not only the pain.
Yes.
Leading by example, I really, oh my God, I really love how you said it, and I'm sharing the same value as you. Possibly that's why the connection between
us. Also from the first time we spoke, right?
Did you have, it's a question I don't normally ask, but because of the work you're doing, did you have to let go of people in your life? Now, not necessarily to cut them off completely, but to let go of some people for you to find your happiness. And you can share only if you want.
I would not say let go, and a difficult moment comes to mind, that having that decision, that the environment and the way that we think, even if there may be a strong friendship for years, and you come to that point where you realize that the way that you see things, that the first thing that comes to mind towards a situation is either it's either one that drains you or one that lifts you up. it's so important in a friendship. And yes, I did have two, and it was very painful. But a lot of relationship just naturally change course.
Yes.
Most of them, I would say most of them naturally change course, because it's just life takes us onto such different paths that's not even that need or that point where you need to have that conversation. It's happening organically most of the times.
Yes, you are right. Sometimes it's just like you lose that connection, or you don't keep in touch as much as you used to, or you don't have the same activities anymore. Yes. So the friendship just dissipates. Yeah. But there is sometimes that relationship where you actually have the separation anxiety. You really feel it.
Oh, yes. And you can also feel like, for me, I was just thinking of all those times, one with this particular really dear friend of mine, we supported each other for so long, and there's like no reason of being upset with each other, or there is absolutely nothing. It's just simply we approach things basically from north and south. And there is a time where one needs to choose which is the environment when they can be in a positive, peaceful way, and that's when we choose ourselves. And that can be sometimes painful, or also I need to find the word. It's when we can start even feeling guilty of choosing ourselves.
Guilt is one of the most powerful feelings that we could ever experience. And I think guilt and envy and rage are the three most destructive emotions or feelings that we could have.
Yes.
Something that I've been asked since I'm doing these interviews, people message me privately and they say like, yes, Adina, it's very easy for you guys to speak about this, and I'm doing this, and now I'm this. But how long, like a time frame, how long did it take you to get here, where you are right now?
Well, I started working with different modalities actually around 18 years ago, but for the longest time I did not feel any real change. I think it's and maybe in the last 6-7 years where I really realized even more, learned to be aware and conscious of myself and the steps that I was taking. And it can be a journey, but it can also be a journey. It can be as long or as short as we decide to, and as we take the responsibility of really transforming the things in our day-to-day life. Because we can work with so many things, but if after we choose to live our life and think the same way and look at the things in the same way, we can clean the subconscious, clear it like to be spot clean. But if we change in the same way, everything goes back and we just don't manage to change. So it's up to each and one of us, I think, of what the steps we're taking and how responsible we decide to be about them.
OANA, where do you want to be in the next, let's not put 5 years, but in the next 2 years? I have to charge my phone. It just notified me I have 15%.
Well, let's see. Well, I would like to be able to support as many people as I can, and to even change myself in everything that comes up in my day-to-day life, and just be there really for the people that want to step and reclaim their own power. And if I can do that, then I am really living a very happy life now, or in 2 years, or in 5.
So how can people reach you? Where do we find you?
Here. Well, I have my website. It's oanaratu.com, and I'm very happy. I do that once in a while. Have that like half-hour or hour Skype conference where if anybody has any questions, I am very happy to answer them about any modality that I work with, or any challenge that they may have, because we are so many people and we have so many different challenges that I'm happy to share what is it that I do, and then for people to really decide whether they want to try it or not. So everything.
Okay, and the last question is, how can we help you?
Well, I think you already did, because doing this interview and telling people about these 2 beautiful modalities, it's already a huge help, and being able to talk to you and realize even more how alike we are. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
you.
Oana. After I'm going to put the video up for my audience, my lovely, lovely, lovely audience. I'd love you to share the website and any like Facebook page if you have, or LinkedIn, or
yes,
YouTube channel, or whatever you have.
I keep forgetting about Facebook.
And this is going to be on Facebook, babes.
Yes.
I thank you so much. I have millions of questions for you, and I'm sure to invite you again, because I still want to continue to see exactly how PSYCH-K works and what are the steps and all that.
Yes, happily. Like, we completely left out the and that's my responsibility. I am sorry for that, because you were asking about EFT, and
as I said, I'm more interested. I'm leading it. I'm leading it in what I'm interested.
So we're definitely going to meet again, and we're going to go through everything.
Absolutely. So my lovely people, my lovely audience, beautiful souls, how I love to call you. Thank you so much for watching us. And if you have any questions, either for me or for Oana, just pop them below this video. We are going to answer you. Don't be shy. If you have whatever question, if you need something clarifying, or you're intrigued just as I am about PSYCH-K, how it really works, contact Oana. So thank you so much, and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Oana.
Take care. Bye.